For those of you who don't know me, I'm Kenneth Pecota, Senior Research Scholar with the Sweet Potato Breeding and Genetics Program. And today I wanted to show you some of our advanced lines and lines that are getting ready for release. So this has been 2 of the last 3 years we've had very wet falls, and we've been able to make selection for ones that can handle water at the end of a season. This season was a little bit reversed, and we had a lot of rainfall in the beginning of the season, and that has its own set of stresses, and it's allowed us to select for ones that can handle a wet spring, which is a little bit uncommon here in North Carolina. I wanted to start by sort of calibrating you with 2 check lines. First one is Covington. Covington has been reasonably good this year. We have seen some bally roots, especially where we've had heavy rain right in and around planting. Beauregard also has been moderate this year, fairly consistent. We've had a couple of fields where the shapes have been a little bit off. So that was just to kind of calibrate you for what type of a season we're having. One of our ones we're getting ready to lease is NC 04531. We're finishing up the paperwork for release. It's available. This is one that has very good insect resistance, and that was confirmed this year by the entomology group that it is really top notch. It also has a very good appearance and is very consistent for shapes. The other thing that we really like about it for organic markets is that it's got a dense upright canopy, and it helps with weed suppression. And you can also cultivate it for much longer than you can most varieties, probably at least a month past, sometimes even further than that, which is a really important consideration for the organic markets. In terms of mainstream, it doesn't have the yield. It's about 80% of Covington, which you can actually reframe in another way. It's actually longer season, and you can pick up much of that yield loss. Our trials are harvested at the same time, so it's a longer season variety, but the insect resistance is excellent. The plant architecture is excellent. It's one that we think is very good for the organic market. We also are in the process of releasing 2 purple sweet potato varieties. The first picture actually is of Stokes purple, for those of you who have grown or seen that, and it looked pretty rough. And the box that you're seeing here took 3 times as much space to get as the boxes of the 2 purples that I'm going to show you for release. The first one I want to talk about is NCP 130030. This has been a very consistent, beautiful shaped one. High yields for a purple equal to Covington, which is really outstanding. Of the 2 purples, this has the better disease package. It's got some southern root knot resistance, good fusarium resistance, kind of weak on streptomyces, so you'll have to keep that in mind for the rotation. One of its strengths is that it's an outstanding plant producer, lots and lots of plants. One of its weakness is that it is an outstanding plant producer. It produces so many plants that it's hard to get right in the beds, and if you overbed it, we'll get some southern blight in your beds and have some trouble there. So for those of you who bed Murasaki or Bonita, high sprouting ones, this one needs to be spaced out even further than those in order to have good quality plants. The second purple one I want to talk to you about is NCP 13315. This one, a little bit longer shapes, also very high yields, better than Covington on average, which is remarkable considering they're both high starch. Very nice flesh color. It doesn't have as good a disease package. It has okay fusarium, no southern, no streptomyces or pox. So that you have to rotate this one carefully. This is an outstanding plant producer. Not as many plants as the 30, but they're thick and they sort of are self-regulating. You have always good numbers of real high quality plants in the beds. One of the best plant producers I think we've ever seen in the breeding program. Both of these have been shipped overseas, and they seem to be able to handle the journey by ship and still hold some market life over there. So we're very excited about both of these as being a significant upgrade to Stokes Purple. Eating quality wise, both of them have tested about the same for that. The next, I want to talk now about 3 table stock lines. The first one is NC 15480. This one was last year was our top yielding clone period. Very good shapes, good look. I pulled up images from 6 trials putting together a summary, and the thing that struck me is they all looked identical. which was a real concern. The parent of this one is Evangeline, and for those of you who grow Evangeline, know that has good environments and bad environments. So that is one concern that we wanted to watch, and so far it's been very consistent and very good. Outstanding yields, better than Boho and Covington. Big disease package for Fusarium, highly resistant to southern root knot. None of the materials here today are resistant to guava root knot nematodes. We don't know. We've had trouble with our Streptomyces trial the last couple years, so we're testing for that. The last thing, it's a good baking quality. It also makes a good chip, and with a coating, a very good French fry. So it has a good package there, and the storage is outstanding. Very similar if you've grown Bellevue, or to our release now, 09-122, that's potentially a release. It is out excellent storage. The only thing we've seen that's a little bit scary is we had some southern blight in the 2019 beds. We looked this year, we couldn't find a single one in there. So circular spot, southern blight, we have to watch to make sure we've got resistance there. The next advanced line is 15633. This is another good high yielding one, a little bit more of an orange skin, whereas the 480 is a bit of a rose skin, not real dark, tends not to be too bad after storage. Another very good mid-starch one here, good quality, not a good chip, not a great French fry, but good baking quality. Has a little bit of latex under stress, maybe a little bit of veining, but it's right behind the 480 in terms of overall quality with disease package, and doesn't store quite as well, but it's about equal with Covington and Beauregard in that respect. And the last advanced table stock line is a rather bit of an interesting one. For those of you who remember Puerto Rico, this is has an exotic Korean background, and we brought in a lot of starch from that background. So it has a starch and a textural cooked property similar to Puerto Rico. So for enthusiasts who really like that old-time flavor, we now have something like that in a modern-day shape and disease resistance package. So this is something that we kind of got by luck, but we're also seeing some perhaps heterosis and some real new yield genes coming in from different backgrounds, and we're very excited about having a heirloom type flavor in a modern day variety package. So those are the main varieties that are coming. All of these are either ready or in tissue culture or being put in tissue culture, and we should have clean stock next year for further evaluations. We still want to see them in more environments. You know, we've had wet falls, a wet spring now. Perhaps we want something that's a little bit cooler or different. So a couple more years of testing, but we hope that these will fill some of the variety needs that you're looking for.
Thanks, Ken. I think that was a really great overview, and I'm really excited about the materials that we have in the breeding pipeline this year. Maybe not as ever so excited. The thought that comes to my mind is this old saying, something old, something new, something borrowed, something blue. So we've got some really great new varieties that are going into different niche markets here. The 04531, which we've already selected a name for, we're going to roll that out here pretty soon. The something borrowed and something old might represent this line down here, which would be the Puerto Rico type, old and kind of borrowed, but it's really brought up new to date. And then the something blue, if you will, would be our new purple sweet potatoes. I think Ken compared what they were compared to the Stokes purple, which would be like the best purple out there right now. Truthfully, the NCP 130030 and the 0315 represent really significant advances in what's going to be available for the purple sweet potato market. And honestly, if I had one of these as an orange flesh sweet potato, it would be equivalent to Covington in terms of yield and shape and quality. It's been that good. So we're really, really excited about these purples. Where they're going to go, we do not know right now. Whether it's going to be 500 or 5,000 or 20,000 acres, it's anybody's guess, but I'm really excited about the suite of lines that we have this year to demonstrate on farm with the growers and to see how they perform in your hands. So again, Ken, great job. Really appreciate the overview. Thank you.